Hi everyone, thanks for joining us here today. We're going to be discussing the digital mistakes that are costing you money. My name is Tyler Wilson here at J&L Marketing. Here in a few seconds we're going to get started. We're just going to give everybody another minute or so before we jump in. So just hang tight and we'll get started shortly. Hi everyone, my name is Tyler Wilson. I'm the digital strategist here at J&L Marketing. Today we're going to be discussing the digital mistakes that are costing you money. Thanks everybody for joining us today, and we're going to get started. All right everybody, just to give you a brief introduction about today's webinar, some of the things that we're going to be covering. First, we're going to look at some common digital mistakes that you might be making today, how to reduce Google AdWords targeting errors, how to minimize irrelevant website traffic, some tips for maximizing your valuable advertising dollars, and then ultimately how to increase your click-through and conversion rates online. The most common mistake that is found across the board is researching your market before you're spending any dollars online. So with every point that we make today, think to yourself, what's your current approach and how does it apply to what we're talking about? So before you spend any ad dollars online, it's very important that you should do an offline and an online analysis. You need to understand where your buyers are and what they are buying, both offline and online. So who are your competitors offline? Who are your competitors online? Are they the same? Do they vary? And then what's your strategy based upon that data? So something that we do at J&L is we do a thorough offline analysis and online analysis before we onboard a new client. So from the offline analysis, some things that we can learn are the top zip codes that have the highest market shares and the ones that are most likely to have people in market for new or used vehicles. We can identify the top competitors offline and the zip codes that they are most prevalent in. And then online, we can also identify their keywords that they're bidding on. We can look at their ad copy. We can understand their market share. And putting that all together allows us to have a much more sound strategy before moving forward and before spending a single dollar online. Another common mistake that we see is radius versus zip code targeting. So what we recommend at J&L is zip code targeting. And the reason is that radius targeting may be hitting areas outside of your target market. Not all zip codes are created equal. So the ones that have a higher propensity of buyers, you can do bid adjustments. You can get more control at the zip code level. So say there are certain zips that you really want to dominate and you really want to focus on. By targeting at the zip code level, you can shift more focus at that level as opposed to the radius level. You can only target the highest propensity of buyers. So if you know that on the west side of town or the south side of town, you have more buyers than the east or the north, then you can adjust accordingly. But then the question is, how do you determine your top zips? And that goes back to the offline and the online analysis. So we can determine what are your top 5, top 10, top 20 zip codes, and then adjust our strategy accordingly. Okay, so let's take a look at what exactly radius versus zip code targeting looks like. So let's imagine that your dealership is right here on this star, okay? And you want it to say, okay, I want to dominate 20-mile radius around my dealership, right? Which is fair. So that's what this looks like right here, okay? So here's a 20-mile radius right around your dealership. So you're going to serve ads to everybody within this big circle here. But the analysis has said that your buyers are right here, right here, right here, 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 and here. So if 80 to 90% of your actual buyers are in these 6 or 7 zips, and you're serving your ads to everybody that falls within that radius, then you're really not maximizing your ad dollars. Because if you've used up your daily budget serving ads down here, and you're exhausted when you get a search up here or up here, then you've lost that opportunity for a sale. So the main thing that you should avoid is just drawing a blanket radius target, but really identify the top 15 to 25 zip codes and really target your ads into those locations. That's going to be your easiest way to minimize ad loss and to maximize your ad revenue. So let's talk about branded keywords. And again, let's think about what your approach is. So our recommendation is definitely bid on your own brand for a few reasons. One, you want to defend your ground. You want to make sure that if you're typing in your if consumers are typing in your brand, then you show up at the top of the list. It's extremely cost effective. You're going to have very high quality scores, usually anywhere around 9 to 10 because of your quality to your brand and your website. And you're going to have very high click-through rates. This is going to help your account overall. So you'll also be able to take up more real estate on that search engine results page. So you can have your ad show up, plus your Google My Business listing and your organic search engine results listing as well. Additionally, you're going to be able to defect competitors conquesting against your brand. So if competitors are bidding on your brand, you're going to be able to outrank them or push them either to the bottom of the page or maybe off the first page completely. And ultimately, it's just worth the investment. You're going to be able to increase your search engine market share. You're going to be able to defend your own brand. You're going to be able to just drive more traffic at a very cost-effective opportunity. So let's take a look at what that looks like. So say you go onto Google and you type in Cape Girardeau Honda. So as you can see right at the top, you've got a great ad here. It's utilizing ad site links. It's got some location information. On the right-hand side of the page, you can see the Google My Business listing. And then right below that, you've got the #1 organic listing for the dealership. So just by bidding on the brand name, we're taking up the entire page. We've got 3 different opportunities to drive traffic. Either it's Google My Business, your ad, or your organic listing. And then also you're deferring competitors from being in this space. So it's basically a win-win across the board by bidding on your own branded keywords. Okay, let's talk about negative keywords. So what's your approach to that? So if you're not familiar with negative keywords, you're essentially negating the term from an ad search query. Our recommendation on this is to constantly refine your negative keyword list. That's important because you want to avoid irrelevant audiences. You want to avoid people that aren't necessarily your target audiences. You want to avoid irrelevant searches. And this will allow you to minimize your wasted ad dollars because you're not wasting ad dollars on searches that aren't likely to convert into buyers. And then you're also going to minimize the irrelevant website traffic that's landing on your website and it's bouncing and it's really just throwing all your results and skewing them completely. So let's talk about what that looks like. Okay, so talking negative keywords. And again, negative keywords are going to be negated from your search query to make sure that that keyword or that term is pulled out of your query to make it more relevant for you as a user. So let's say the keyword is Honda for sale. So as a dealership, you wouldn't necessarily want to drive the traffic that's irrelevant, that's just going to land on your site and bounce. So we might want to negate such keywords like power sports, racing, motorcycle, foreman, ATV, CBR 2000. I mean, the list can go on and on. Typically, we'll have anywhere between hundreds to thousands of keywords in each campaign. And ideally, we're going in there weekly, at least bi-weekly, and analyzing our search term reports, understanding, okay, did the traffic that we drive to the site, was it relevant? Was the query that was triggered relevant to what we're offering? And if it's not, then we're going to add that to our negative keyword list. And as time and time goes on, you're going to be able to constantly weed out all that irrelevant traffic, all that traffic that just is wasting your ad dollars. This is going to allow you to increase your click-through rates. It's going to help bolster your quality scores. You're going to be able to get increased conversion rates as a result of that. Ideally, your cost per clicks are going to go down. And ultimately, you're just going to be able to maximize those ad dollars and get the most relevant traffic possible to your website. Okay, another common ad mistake is not utilizing ad extensions appropriately or using them at all. So what we recommend is using as many of them as you possibly can. The biggest reason is because they have no additional cost whatsoever. These are add-ons to your paid search ads and your display ads that will increase more visibility, that will increase the size of your ads, which is going to take up more real estate on that search engine results page. Maybe you can push one of your immediate competitors down further or maybe even off the page completely. You'll be able to highlight unique details to your dealership, which is going to separate you from the competition. You'll be able to include your phone number and your address, so if people like to call you and get a hold of you instantly, or they can even click to get directions to your store. And you can link to additional relevant pages within your website. So maybe you want to highlight new, used CPO vehicles. You can have different links to those as well. So let's take a look at 2014 Honda CR-V. You can see the top ad here is utilizing a variety of ad extensions. Right below the ad text, we've got save time and money, buy in 30 minutes, cars for your lifestyle, see our huge selection. Those are separated by the dots. Those are called call-outs. Those are going to be additional features that highlight your dealership. Just below that, you can see North Roan Street, Johnson City. That's going to be the location. That's got the phone number in it. It's got the hours. And you can even click that from a mobile device or desktop and get directions directly to the store. Even below that, you've got some site links, deals under 10,000, current offers, buying versus leasing. You can see that there's even descriptions that you can utilize within site links as well. And ultimately, just take a look at how much real estate this ad's taking up. I mean, it's almost the same size as both the bottom ones combined. So this is going to allow you to dominate more of that valuable online real estate. It's going to push your competitor ads down, and it's really going to separate you from the competition. There's about 10 to 12 different ad extensions that you can utilize, ranging from callouts, site links, price extensions. There's a gamut of them, and we recommend utilizing any and all of them that you possibly can to really get the most benefit out of your paid search and your display advertising. So again, one of the big mistakes that we see is not utilizing remarketing and customer match audiences. And this is absolutely crucial to online success because these are customers that have either interacted with your website in the past, or customer match, we can extract those audiences from your DMS, and we can upload first name, last name, email address, city, state. There's a variety of fields that can be uploaded both into Google and Facebook that allows you to target those audiences very specifically. And additionally, you can utilize VIN-specific retargeting. So when somebody goes on your website and they're looking at a very specific vehicle, you can retarget them with that exact vehicle and specific messaging across the display network and Facebook advertising as well. So a question is, how are you using your DMS online? This is something that's very important to ask and understand what your strategy is online if you really want to help work on retaining those existing customers, or you could even exclude those audiences and you can work on conquesting new ones. But it's important to include your DMS audiences and use that data to your benefit. So you can reactivate customers in your DMS, you can readjust your strategy for identified or identified audiences, and ultimately you can make it all work together to maximize your advertising reach online. Okay, so talking about our attack versus defend, or retention versus conquest audiences. Again, this goes back to using your DMS and remarketing list most effectively. So the average DMS that we looked at had about 30,000 consumers in that. We can take those and we can upload them via customer match, and we can target paid search, Facebook, and Gmail advertising. Typically, we're going to match anywhere between 40 to 60% of that audience, and there is a minimum threshold of each. So we do need to make sure that we don't get too narrow and too granular with our targeting. But again, this allows us to, let's say we wanted to target service customers. So we could take that DMS and we could extract that, upload it, and we can increase our bids, we can make specialized messaging, we can utilize Gmail, very effective channel, and we could target those customers with service-related offers, drive them back to your website to check out service offerings. Well, let's say they come to your website, then they don't convert. Well, now we have an opportunity to retarget them. So they come to your website, and now they're scrolling across the display network. And oh, look, here's an ad. Or maybe you've got a banner or a square ad down here. These will drive them back to your website and give you another opportunity to convert them. But by maximizing our audience and by refining it and really targeting on the customers that we've identified and the customers that we have not identified allows us to segment our budgets more effectively. It allows us to strategize our messaging more effectively, but ultimately it's going to allow us to maximize our ad dollars and minimize that waste by only targeting the right audiences. So another channel that really ad dollars are not used efficiently is the display advertising network. We recommend that you are auditing your display websites frequently, much like negative keywords, and trimming out and making sure that you're not serving ads and not serving the wrong traffic is even more important on display network sites, because while we do want to increase brand awareness, we do want to get the maximum use out of our ad dollars and get the right traffic driven to your website. So we want to exclude irrelevant websites and clicks. Let's talk about mobile apps. So mobile apps is kind of mixed. So there's the mistake that if we serve on mobile apps, then we're getting maximum coverage, but you also run the risk of illegitimate clicks. People, might accidentally click the ad when they didn't necessarily mean to, and you're really going to waste ad dollars that you really could have used more effectively somewhere else. So with mobile apps, you can either exclude them completely, or if you're going to include them, it's really, you need to refine your list and understand what apps you're going to be serving on. With your audit, you want to narrow and refine your targeting very often. And then again, on the display network or Facebook, you want to utilize remarketing and utilize customer match audiences and really target and refine your audiences as much as you can. Or you can even exclude those audiences as well if you're trying to conquest and find new customers. So within Google AdWords platform, it's very easy. You go down on the left-hand side under your display campaigns, and there's a section that says placements. And then at the top, right in the middle, says where ads are shown. So you can go within your account and you can see exactly all the different placements your ads are being served on, which ones are generating the most clicks, conversions. If you are getting a lot of spend on a certain network and maybe it's just not converting, or maybe it's just not a great website, you can exclude it and add it to that exclusion list. But by doing regular maintenance and by doing regular auditing on your display placements and your display capabilities, then you're really going to trim that. You're going to trim down your wasted ad dollars, and you're really going to have more money that you can spend more effectively, whether that is back on display network, or maybe you can shift it and spend more money on paid search for Facebook, YouTube, etc. But it's really important to understand where the sites you're sending those display ads are and if they're effective or not. Okay, so just kind of to wrap up some of the things we talked about, and some of the top mistakes and some of the top things that you can do today to really minimize your wasted ad dollars and get the most out of your ad spend. So first thing, understanding your market. You really need to understand offline and online what's going on, who your competitors are, and what you need to do to stand out. Second, defending your brand. Bidding on your branded keywords and making sure that you're defending that space, that very, very valuable real estate that you have online. Avoiding irrelevant audiences. So if there are audiences that you've determined that really aren't driving the right traffic, exclude them. Why waste money on locations and audiences that aren't going to convert for you? To that token, avoiding irrelevant keywords. Maximizing your negative keywords and understanding that, hey, these keywords aren't driving the right users to my site. Let's get them out of here. Let's add them to the negative keyword list, and let's refine the keywords that we're bidding on to make sure that we really are driving the right traffic to your site. Maximizing your DMS and your remarketing list. Again, taking that DMS and using it online. Whether you want to go after service customers, whether you want to exclude it and conquest new customers. There's a lot of different applications, but maximizing the DMS and remarketing list are going to have the biggest return on investment for you online. Taking advantage of the different ad extensions. Again, these are at no additional cost whatsoever, and they have extremely added benefits to your paid search and your display ads. You can show phone numbers, locations, call outs, you've got site links, maybe you have different pricing and specials. There's a variety of different options that you can utilize, and again, they're at no extra ad cost to you. And additionally, reducing your wasted display advertising. So constantly refining those display placements and auditing them and making sure that you're not serving ads to irrelevant websites or driving the wrong traffic to your site that's going to have a high bounce rate. Again, these are only some of the most common mistakes that we've seen. This is just the tip of the iceberg onto all the different things within AdWords, Facebook, all the different platforms that you have at your fingertips. And ultimately, if you only have a set ad budget, let's get the most use out of it and let's reduce it as much as we can on waste. And that allows just more and more and more. Every dollar you save is one more dollar you can invest to get more qualified traffic, more people to your website, and ultimately get them into your dealership and get them into a vehicle. Okay, so if anybody had any questions, please feel free to reach out. Again, my name is Tyler Wilson. I've got my contact information and Jamil Zabaneh, our president, as you can see on the screen now. We wanted to thank everybody for joining us today in this webinar. Hopefully you were able to learn some things, and hopefully there's some actions you can take today to start minimizing those ad dollars. Again, this was just kind of the tip of the iceberg of what is out there and some of the capabilities that are at your fingertips. Please feel free to call us, email us, reach out any way you can. We'd be happy to discuss further some of the things that we can help out with, or if you have any just general questions, we'd be happy to discuss too. Thanks everybody for your time, and we look forward to speaking with you.